So we need to find out how to find the area of a circle. And you already know the different parts of the circle, the radius, the diameter, chords, that sort of thing. Now, this is a radius that's been given to us, and this is the formula. Area equals pi times the radius squared. And so pi is generally going to be substituted in for 3.14, not always, but for this first couple examples it is. And then the radius is 3 inches. So where that r is at, we're going to put the 3 in because that's the radius of the circle. And remember, it's raised to the second power. And that doesn't mean 3 times 2. It means that there are two 3's multiplying each other. So 3 times 3 would equal 9. And 9 times that 3.14 is 28.26 inches squared. Okay? Couple of things to note. If you've got a nice calculator, you can usually put all of this in the red box all at once, and it can just do all of the work, and it'll skip through this level, and it'll just give you the answer. However, you see I've got the decimal circled there. Just remember, if you're flying through on the calculator, if you forget to put that decimal in there, it can screw up your answer. Okay? Next up, let's take a look at this. What if they give you a diameter? Well, the diameter is basically double the radius. So if they give you the diameter, just take it and divide it by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. And I'm going to put a 5 in there. It's that red line. You could also just draw another line off to the side, another radius off to the side of that diameter to show it's 5 inches, or any other place that you want. Now, pi is 3.14 again. The radius from that circle, they didn't give it to us. We had to figure it out as 5, so that'll go in for the radius, and we raise it to the second power. So basically, it's going to be 25 times 3.14, 78.5 inches squared. Okay, so that's how you handle it if they give you a diameter. Two other things, actually. This is the big thing first. The directions change from test to test. It's not always the same. Sometimes they're going to say, please round to the nearest whole number, maybe round to the nearest tenth, maybe the nearest hundredth. You've got to read those directions. In 7th grade especially, though, one of the first things that they start to throw out there that's a little bit different than what you saw in grade school is leaving the answer in terms of pi. So let's go through that real quick. Here's what you do. You see pi is in the formula, area equals pi r squared. They give us a circle with a radius of 8 centimeters. And instead of substituting in 3.14 for pi, we don't. We just let it sit there as pi, okay? And now we just slide the 8 in for the r, right there for the radius. Still make that to the second power. And then the great thing is you just go ahead and square your radius. So it's pi 64. Now, in most books that I've read, though, when you leave it in terms of pi, you just kind of flip your answers around and you leave it as 64 pi. And hey, remember, if it's centimeters, we want the answer to be centimeters squared. If it's inches, we want it to be inches squared. So that's all that you have to do. Don't put in 3.14 for pi. Just let it sit there. And when you're done, just scoot it off to the end. Okay? Now, the very last thing I wanted to go over. Occasionally, they're going to throw out I don't want to call it a trick question, but they're going to throw you out a question where they give you something related to the circumference of the circle, how far around the circle, and they want either the radius, the diameter, or the area of the circle. So, if they told you that the circumference of circle A is 8 pi, what you have to do is go find the formula for circumference off of your reference sheet. A would stand for area, so circumference stands for C. And so there's our formula. And all you have to do really is double the radius to get this out. So this 8, what they did is they doubled the radius. They times it by 2 to get 8. Let's draw a circle real quick to see this. If they give you the circumference in terms of pi, all you have to do is half that number in front of it, and that's your radius. So there we go. There's the radius of circle A. Now, to find the diameter of it, well, that's 2 radii put together, and there you have it. 4 and 4 is the 8. And so that's the code. And if they're like, hey, please go find the area, then all we have to do is say, hey, area equals 3.14 times 4 to the second power. Okay? I'll put a little X in there to kind of show as a multiplication sign there. And then you're good to go. So don't fall for this trick. If they give you the circumference and it's like in terms of pi, just half that for your radius and you'll be able to go find the area or be able to find the diameter if they're asking that as well.